So I met this amazing artist through our Facebook group. His name is Abishek Adonai from India, and he creates amazing concept art using Blender and Photoshop. He's a real mean machine when it comes to color grading and compositing, so come join me and see what we can learn from his workflow. So to kick things off, I believe Abishek is using elements from Blender 3D. I know that he collaborates with a Blender 3D artist, and you guys have given us really good feedback when Red's done some Blender stuff, so we'll be sure to include more of that in the future on the channel. Right, now for some reason I can't see the tool presets at the top, so we're going to be mainly focusing on the layer stack and the compositing process and the adjustment layers that he's using. So we got some good old-fashioned classic compositing there. The sky and trees being incorporated into the background, lots of clipping mask action, and the adjustment layers being used, color balance, curves, color balance again, some levels action in there. So it's photo manipulation 101, and I see he uses a number of different adjustment layers. So we've got hue, saturation, color balance, curves to do the edits on the individual elements. Right, so we've got the plane in place, we've got the hanger, and we have the photo stock elements in the background, which adds to the realism of the piece. And that's a good thing about using CG assets. If you incorporate them with the photo stocks, then you can get some really interesting photorealistic scenes. And I put this one in the category of concept art because you could imagine this being used to visualize like a scene in a video game or a film or something like that. Okay, interesting. Different sky hues for the top right window. We have the letterbox overlay there. They're very cinematic. Okay, I don't know what that was. Was it a color lookup or something like that? Added like a grade or something to the overall composite. Gradient maps are amazing for creating global color casts on images like this. It looked like he had a really big preset bundle with loads of them pre-made. Quite handy to have. Since I updated my Photoshop, I haven't got all of those lovely gradient map presets. I need to get them back in action. I had some really nice sepia ones that I used all the time. Ah, I didn't notice that. Textures on the walls. Abishek's like Clinton, he likes to use curves quite a lot to edit the different elements of the composite. This man really does like to live life on the edge, because look at all of those layers in that stack. No layer groups going on there. I wonder why that is. If he likes to work fast and likes to throw it down. Guys, can you tell me in the comments what those red lines are called? Are they perspective lines? I know some of the other guys have covered that in other videos. That's quite interesting. I wonder the exact purpose that he uses that. Is it for positioning? Is it for scale? I need to ask Abishek where he's getting his stocks from as well. I have no idea what he did just then. Manual shadows. So creating a selection, filling it with a dark tone. I can't see the layer blend mode. And then with a layer mask, blending it out. Quite effective actually. Looks quite good. Yeah, he went over it. The first one he wasn't happy with, and then he redid it. That's the old technique. You duplicate the layer itself, you set it to a dark color, and then you stretch it out using transform tools. That's the way I would personally do it. Other guys on the team have covered that technique loads of times. Yeah, a lot of work's gone into that shadow, but it's the shadows and the highlights that make something look real. So it makes sense that Abishek takes his time to work on those shadows. And if you look at the airplane shadow, it's not a muted grey, it has colour information in it. So I could see that there was a slight blue teal to the shadow of the airplane. You could see on the colour balance drop down that he actually had shadows selected. So I wonder if he used a clipping mask to limit the color balance to the shadow and then use that to tweak the value of the shadow's colors. Probably how he managed to get that blue look. Now then, for these figures, what compositing method will he use? Will he use pen tool? Will he use auto select tools? There is a lot of color grading going on in this piece. So we got some props and elements to fill out the scene. If I'm guessing right, I bet his buddy put those together in Blender for him. I'll have to ask. They do look like CG elements, quite clean and crisp. Looks like a depth of field blur was applied to that shelving unit at the front. Now, if there was a camera here in the scene, the main focal point that the lens would focus on would be the airplane at the midpoint of the scene, and because that shelving unit is closer to the camera, you can see the depth of field blurring. Oh, and it's gone. Maybe he didn't like that. Trees, trees, trees. Guys, if you need PNG trees just like this, we've literally just released a trees and foliage mega pack. You definitely have to check it out because it will save you hours of time having to cut out all these different trees and shrubs and elements. Really, really, really handy stuff. Be sure to check it out. Link in the description. Oh, the shelving unit's back. Will he blur it? Oh, a little bit. Just a couple of pixels. You notice that he's flipped the canvas horizontally there. I wonder if he did that to make sure that everything looks right. Have you ever flipped an image horizontally and then it didn't quite look right? Especially with illustration, hand-drawn natural media illustration, but with Photoshop work as well. I've often flipped the canvas horizontally and sometimes it looks really weird. So I'm wondering if he does that to check the unity and balance and composition of the piece to see if it works in both ways. I didn't even see how he composited those figures, those guys there. Next time Abishek submits a video for us to put on the channel, I'll get him to show the tools and the top of the layer stack so we can see the blend modes that he's using as well. And I'm always interested in seeing the brush settings used. So does the artist use flow? Does the artist use opacity for tweaking the values of the brush? Or if they use any textured brushes? That's all stuff that I really like to see. But we can still learn a lot from this layer stack here and the overall compositing process. So this document, normally I ask the artist to submit the PSD file as well for the thumbnail, but this one, even though the pixel size isn't massive, Abishek submitted it as a PSB, so that's B for Bravo, large document. Probably because there are so many layers on this, so I'm easily numbering into the hundreds now, which is quite amazing. And the majority of that, I would say, is definitely color grading. He puts a lot of effort into his color grading. The officer. Seeing workflows like this sometimes makes me feel like a Neanderthal. So here he is sourcing his stock images. Second plane dropped in there. I wonder if there's a particular reason why he doesn't use layer groups. Selective color, that's my personal favorite for editing color. Oh, there's a lot going on in this scene. When you see the finished artwork, because it's brought together so well, you don't really notice or realize how much is going on, but there's a lot going on in this piece. You guys, if you'd like to check out Abishek's work, be sure to look at the description. I'll give you the links to his Behance and ArtStation. Definitely worth giving him a look. You know, your work as a photo manipulator is massively improved if you can use Blender or other similar CG software, or if you've got a buddy that can do it for you. I think Abishek works alongside a friend who generates the CG assets for him, and then Abishek takes those elements in and creates kind of composite scenes like this. And I still don't think you can beat photo stock humans. The CG stuff is amazing. We've been creating artificial intelligent CG figures, but at the end of the day, today, photo stocks, especially with humans, they're still the best. I still believe that. It adds realism and a tactile nature to a piece like this when the humans are real. Real humans can't be beat. Simple compositing there, removing the bottom of the guy's foot using a layer mask. So the cast shadow from that guy. Did that dude have one of those crash test dummy logos on his head? There you go. Out with the old, in with the new. Is he going to keep the bald head? Nope. He's going to paint in the hair. Guys, if you're getting value from this video, please do give us a like and subscribe. It's free, easy, really supports the channel, and you'll be given a heads up when we release new videos. 2 videos a week, you know it makes sense. So he's using curves for the highlights on the rim lights on the guy's shoulder, because there's a very strong light source coming from the right. This big open hanger door with golden hour sunlight spilling through, that would be catching on the right edge of that guy, and he used curves to do the bulk of that. Photo filter, that's one I very rarely use myself. I went for a little phase of using it, but it just kind of went on to selective color instead. You can see him dipping back and forth looking at reference articles and blogs to see if he's on the right track, because this is a historical piece. It's a vintage plane, and these are vintage vehicles and guys. It's part of the scene. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's the shadows that makes a piece like this. When you're going for realism, hyper realism. I wonder if Abishek uses the black and white adjustment layer in the same way that Red does his thing for checking the values. So you set the whole image to black and white. Clinton does it as well. And then you can check the values to make sure nothing's overpowering or underpowered, and that the tones are correct. And it's a visually pleasing piece. What are these big old cables, wires? There is so much that has gone into this. If you looked at the piece on its own, you'd just think, yeah, that's cool. But seeing the actual process and seeing what goes into it, that's just wild. We got those depth of field shelves in the foreground. Bit of editing on that cabling on the floor. And there you've got a closer look at the rim light on the older guy's shoulder. Pen tool for the precise work. Abishek, you are an absolute madman. I salute you, my friend. After seeing what goes into a piece like this, most definitely impressed. Loving the shadow work. Oh look, it's a layer group. Outstanding. So here's a look at the breakdown from beginning to end. Amazing stuff. Abishek is a beast. Guys, if you enjoyed this Photoshop reaction, be sure to check out the one that I did for Phase Runner, the Neon Master. But that'll do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. See you then.